Plana. My company is Gables Insurance Recovery. I have over 35 years experience in handling property claims for insurance companies. And 17 years ago, I opened up my company here in Coral Gables. I have an office in main offices in Coral Gables, another office in Orlando, another in Fort Myers, and in Texas and California. I'm licensed in 30 different states. I'm also owner of a real estate brokerage company, as well as a title company. So I understand the complexities and how the insurance plays with real estate. And so what I'd like to talk about today is the fundamentals about protecting your property and your investment, especially for those of you who have multiple properties and investment properties. It is important to whenever you buy a home or every time you renew your insurance policy, the most things that is very confusing is that make sure that you have the right coverage. And it's very important not just to go over quickly with your insurance agent. It is extremely important to go over the details of the property, the location, and what have you. I have a claim right now in Daytona for the flood for one of the hurricanes, and it was a multi-property owner. He had two apartment buildings. The insurance agent only insured one of the properties, and he had damage on both. So it's going to be very difficult for him to collect on one of the properties that was damaged. It's going to go into litigation. It's going to be very difficult to collect. The other thing that is most important is that you document everything. Every inspection that you do, you maintain the insurance policy, and you take pictures every time that you renew your policy. Take pictures, detailed pictures of the property to make sure that you're capturing everything. One of the first things that insurance companies do is they ask you, and it's your burden to prove how the property was before the loss. A lot of times they say, oh, it was like that from before. That's the reason that we're not paying, it's not covered. And then you're left with the inability of going ahead and proving that. It's very difficult to do. One of the things I developed, I have a free app that you can download that documents and stores everything. You can use that app, but most people, what they do is go ahead and just document, save it, put it in the cloud, all the documents, and you're ready for a claim. That's one of the most important things that you can do. If you do suffer a loss, like now, I understand up in Broward, there is a lot of flood damage. One of the things that you have to do is protect your property and make sure that the property doesn't get further damage. So if you have water damage, you have to go ahead and make sure that you dry it out. Make sure that you keep all the property. One of the things that I've handled many flood claims, Hurricane Harvey in the Keys and in different areas, is that you have to maintain all your personal property until the insurance company has an opportunity to look at it and inspect it. A lot of people say, oh, it's damaged, I'm just going to throw it away, take a picture. No, you have to go ahead and mitigate your damages by protecting it. As everyone knew, when a hurricane goes by, you put a tarp up so the water doesn't come in. Different things like that. That's one of the important things. The important things is the documentation. I had a fire claim that happened, and it was very difficult to look at the different personal property. They didn't have pictures of it. They didn't have proof, receipts, and all that. It's cumbersome, and it's things that people don't want to think about. But it's one of the important things that you have to maintain in order for you to be able to get everything that you're entitled to from the insurance company. The other thing I want to speak to about is the new property law that just passed this last December. One of the biggest things that you have, and it's limiting, so you have to be even more on top of your claims. Now you have to report a claim within 1 year of the date of loss. Before, you had up to 3 years to report it. Sometimes you don't see that there's damage until some time has passed. So now you have 1 year in order to go ahead and report a claim to the insurance company. My thing and my recommendation to all my clients and anyone else is, as soon as you see that there's a potential for a claim, that you report the claim, because one of the things that they do is that late reporting, you prejudice me, so we're not going to go ahead and pay your claim. You can always report the claim, and if you see that it's not going to reach the deductible, you can go ahead and formally withdraw the claim to prevent any rate hikes that you have a claim loss. If you withdraw the claim and there's no payment, you can ask your agents, but I don't believe that there will be an increase in your policy. It's better to be safe and withdraw a claim than report it late and then deny the claim. The other effect that it helps you is that when you report a claim to the insurance company, the previous law was that they had 90 days in order for them to give you a response and to investigate their claim. Now that's reduced to 60 days. So it's a little bit better for the insurance company to make their decision if they're going to pay the claim, how much they're going to pay, and what have you. The other part of the law that changed was that you are no longer available to assign your claims to roofing contractors, or anyone else. That was a problem that was here in Florida. A lot of roofing companies or contractors will get an assignment of benefits, or water restoration companies will get an assignment of benefits. And what they would do is go ahead and eliminate basically the insured from the claim. They still had to cooperate, but the payments would go straight to the contractor. And they would be responsible for making the repairs and making. So the decision was out of the property owner's hands. So that became a problem. That's one of the provisions that they took out of the law, that they can no longer assign their rights to any contractors in the future. The biggest thing that I think that is going to be a problem, and I personally believe that it might be challenged to the Supreme Court, is that there is no attorney fee provision for policyholders. This means that if you have a dispute with the insurance company, then you no longer will be able to file a lawsuit against the insurance company, because attorneys are not going to go ahead and take on a claim if they're only a small portion of the claim that they're entitled to. So usually, if you prevail in a lawsuit, let's say you had a lawsuit for $50,000 and the insurance company had to pay the $50,000, there would be a separate payment to the attorneys that were representing you in order that they would be compensated. It wouldn't be out of the proceeds of the amounts that you were getting. So I believe that this is going to be a problem for the policyholders, in that it's less resources or less accountability that the insurance companies will have in order to make sure that they pay everything that you're entitled to. So as I see it now, I had claims from Fort Myers, all the different hurricanes, and one of the things that I've seen is that the insurance companies have adjusters from different parts of the country adjusting the claims. They don't know the construction. They don't know the parts here that you need to go ahead and fix the property the right way, and the payments were low. There's also lawsuits and different provisions that the Department of Insurance is looking into, where field adjusters will go out, do their estimates, and then the desk adjuster, the person who makes the decision, would change those estimates to a lower amount. So that is an issue that we have. Now, if you don't have the provisions in order to file a lawsuit in order to do that, it becomes a problem and it lacks the accountability from the insurance company. What they're doing now in trying to replace that is they're allowing insurance companies to do binding arbitration, where they have an arbitration where they have your two parties that go before an arbiter. Usually it's a retired judge that makes the decision for you, for the case, for the insurance company or for the policyholder in that aspect. That is it's almost like a mini trial where there's a retired judge who's going to make the actual decision. That makes it difficult, and some insurance companies, because there's no provision in the law, let's say, especially with the surplus lines carriers like Lloyd's of London, Scottsdale, Arizona, Scottsdale's, all these surplus lines, there's no provision in the law saying where the arbitration has to take place. So Lloyd's of London will take and say, okay, we'll do binding arbitration, but the arbitration has to be held in New York. So that's one of the things that they're trying to clean up now in the new legislation in order to see if they look into that. But it's going to be a process for doing the binding arbitration. And it's going to be costly as well. And, since it's a mini trial, you're going to have to hire either the public adjuster if they have the experience in doing that, or attorneys that will handle that for you. But if there's no attorney fee provision, you're going to have to pay them to represent you in order to do that. So it's going to take away from your proceeds of the case. And the last provision is to no longer deny coverage for roofs that are less than 15 years old. You need a certification to make sure that there's still at least 5 years left of the roof in order for them to go ahead and insure you. So those are some of the things. I will give, I'll put in the chat here my contact information. If you're interested in looking at my app that you can download, and what it'll do is, and if you go to my website, it'll show you how to take the pictures. It's not just pictures. You have to take an overview of the property, of the specific rooms. Then you do the ceilings, and then you do the floors, and you do it in sequence, so because if you travel around and take a picture of a ceiling in a bedroom, the next bedroom's going to look the same, and you're not going to be able to know which one's which. So there's a sequence to it, and maintaining documents like, as all since you're real estate investors, when you do an inspection, an insurance inspection, all those things have documentation as pictures as to how the property was before any loss happens. This app also takes pictures of your personal property, your artwork, furniture, and appliances, because once there's a fire, once there's a damage, I've seen pictures, I've seen people having to find pictures where they were having, a birthday party, blowing out candles to see what was in the background, see if they could see what it was. So it's very important to go ahead and take those pictures and maintain all those documents in a safe place so that you're ready, available, and especially with investors like yourself, to keep track of that with all the different properties that you own and maintain. Is there any questions?
I have a bunch of questions, but I'm going to stop the recording first. So
Okay.
we can be straightforward with each other.
But I have questions.
Go ahead, Eric.
Carlos, my question is the following. I had to deal with insurance companies before and wasn't very successful during the hurricane. My question is the following. If I have a claim, if I have damage to my property, what is the recommended procedure to deal with it? Should I go file a claim with the insurance company first and have to try them to pay it, or should I get an adjuster like yourself immediately? Also, also, what gives you more leverage with the insurance company than me? Okay, why would they pay more if you present the case than if I present the case? So what's the benefit for the insurance company to deal with you than dealing with me? Okay, and also the follow-up is the following. Suppose I go there, this says, no, we're not gonna pay. I go to you, this says, no, we're not gonna pay. What is the next step? Then is litigation, and who takes care of that litigation? You and your company follow that, or I have to follow that? That's it.
Okay. The first question, it depends on the type of claim that you have, but I recommend that you hire a public adjuster from the beginning because they know how the damages and how to present the claim to the insurance company. I have 35 years of handling insurance claims. There is a study out there that I can send to you that shows that hiring a public adjuster will get you 700% more than if you handle the claim by yourself. I know exactly, working for insurance companies and dealing with insurance companies for 17 years, since my company's been open, I know exactly what the insurance company is looking for to handle it. One of the things that, and I'll take you through what the process is if you hire a public adjuster, and especially in my firm. You go ahead. One of the things that we do is we assess the damage. We go ahead and visit the property. We see what kind of damage there is. We look at the coverages that you have and see if it's something that you should make a claim for. We look at the deductibles as well. And we give you our recommendation as to whether you should file a claim and how it should be presented. Okay, that's the first thing. Second of all, my firm goes ahead and every time the insurance company's out there, we're out there and we're talking with the insurance company, pointing out the different damages and what you're entitled to. Some homeowners don't know what the damages are or how to present it to the insurance company. That's some of the problems that you have. And another thing is, one of the things, especially handling the cases from Fort Myers, I have a number of clients of mine that don't live in Florida. So they don't have they can't go out there and inspect the property with the insurance company. They don't have time to go ahead and deal with the insurance company. And it's a matter of the headache and the hassle of dealing with the insurance company. Especially, I have one right now where he has multiple properties and it's he lives in Michigan. So he has multiple properties down here. It's very difficult for him to handle that. The other part, I'll give you an example where I had a warehouse here in Miami that was a huge warehouse with a number of properties. The insurance company turned around and said, look, this is under deductible, we're not paying it. I went ahead and handled the claim and we were able to get him $1.2 million. So yes, you could handle that by yourself. You could try and do that, but it's like anything else. Like if you're a mortgage person or you're a real estate agent, you can sell your house by yourself. That you don't need a real estate agent. But if you go ahead and hire a real estate agent, the likelihood is that they're going to negotiate a better price. They're going to present your property better. And in the long run, paying their fee is going to be worth it for you to go ahead and capture as much as you can from your property. Same thing happens with hiring a public adjuster. The next question is regarding litigation. What I do in my practice is that not for commercial properties, for residential. But the state of Florida has a program that is a non-binding mediation. The insurance companies have to go ahead and attend this non-binding mediation. The insurance companies also have to pay for it. So you go in front of a mediator and they try to negotiate the claims for you, okay? If they're not successful in doing that, you're not binding, you're not bound to it. So that's one of the things that we do, and we present the case to the mediator, have the insurance company, and we try to negotiate there if we're not successful beforehand. The other process that you can do without litigation is called appraisal. The appraisal process is one that if there's no coverage issues and it's just a matter of pricing and scope of work, then what happens is that the policyholder, the property owner, hires an appraiser. They have to pay for that. And the insurance company has to hire an appraiser. They try to work out and see if they're working out their differences. If they can't, then they both have to agree to an umpire that acts like a judge, and the judge would go ahead and make the determination as to what the scope of work and what the amount of the coverages are. If the two appraisals can't go ahead and agree to an umpire, then you have to go to court, and the court appoints an umpire in order to do that. If it's something regarding coverage, then as the law stands now, you can go ahead and file litigation. As it will be soon with any new policies that you have, most of the insurance policies are going to have binding arbitration. So the next alternative resolution to a dispute with a claim is to go ahead and have a binding arbitration where you present a case like in a trial, and the umpire or the person in the doing the binding arbitration makes the decision as who's right and how much to pay.
One more question. Suppose I file a claim and the insurance company says no, for whatever reason. Can I enlist a adjuster after that fact?
You can do it whenever you do, whenever you want. Yeah, absolutely. If they say no, you can hire an adjuster after the fact, and then we can go ahead and see if we can resolve the claim for you.
Thank you.
Sure. Lynn?
Alrighty, thank you, Carlos Plana, for your presentation. I appreciate it.
I think there's a couple of people that have a couple of questions.
Yes, I'm gonna stop the recording and keep on going.
Oh, okay.
So 1 second,